This is a real tier list for speedrunning and 99 Nights in the Forest. I will rank all the classes based on how good they are in a speedrun specifically, not a casual run, in both solo and multiplayer. Diamond price is not a factor in this tier list. First is the newest class. Zookeeper, I don't need to explain this one. Next is Alien. It's not just a beginner class, it's decent in speedruns. The ray gun is great in the early game. It's free with infinite ammo with good DPS. Might not be too reliable for stronger mobs, but it's great to have. The best perks about Alien is the night vision and extra sprint speed. All this was literally made to make looting faster, and that's what speedrunning is all about. It gets A tier. Next is Fire Bandit. You start with Infernal Crossbow with good DPS and infinite arrows. It automatically cooks meat when you kill a mob with it. Very convenient when you're far from camp. The Wildfire Potion is good for groups of mobs, and there is a 10% chance to find another one in a chest. Another perk is that any of your weapons have a chance to set enemies on fire, but it doesn't do too much. This class has great combat perks but lacks the speedrun advantages of Alien, so it gets B tier. Camper. It has a few perks, but for speedrunning, you're basically using no class. Gets D tier. Scavenger, a slight upgrade, has 2 extra sack space which is helpful in the early game, and you open chests 20% faster. These perks would actually help a bit in the speedrun. It's still D tier, but not the worst. Here's a good one, Cyborg. The laser cannon is useful for group of mobs. It does high AoE damage, great against any mob really. The alien armor is better than the iron, and it restores your alien energy if you take damage. You also restore energy for every kill. This fixes all the cooldown issue of the laser cannon. So if you have a Cyborg user, speedrunning to save the kids will be easy. Cyborg's S tier. Now for Brawler. This is not a good situation for Brawler. It has 30% extra melee damage, and as you can see, using only melee requires a lot of circling. Not a problem for me though. This class also has 40% more health. You really need this considering the con of Brawler. You cannot use ranged weapons. No guns, no tactical shotgun, no kunai. This means fighting bears has just become the worst thing ever, because you can't just circle to dodge their hits. They're so strong they bring you down almost dead. That's really bad in the speedrun. You could use bear traps to save the 3rd and 4th kid, but that's a painfully slow method. It gets C tier. Berserker, this guy is pretty good, especially in solo. Let me show you why. If you die, you automatically revive, but it only works once. This is great in case you die to 5 bears or a hungry deer, or maybe just a wolf. You also start with medkit. That's something, I suppose. It gets B tier. Chef. Let me tell you, there is no time to be a chef in the speedrun. You get a free chef station and a list of recipes. But if you go out of your way to cook these in the middle of a speedrun, your fastest run is going to be 85 minutes. In the speedrun, it's just no class with a free crockpot. It gets D tier. Lumberjack. This is good for a speedrun. It starts a good axe instead of that dumb old axe, so you can level up the fire very quickly. Also, you have a chance to get a double sapling drop and 1 or 2 bonus logs from a tree. You always need wood, especially for the beds, so that's why this class is essential for a group speedrun. It's obviously A tier. Blacksmith. You need this one for group speedruns as well. It can craft items from the next bench tier. You can build beds without upgrading the crafting bench. Now that's saving time. Deserves A tier. Big Game Hunter. Don't let the smug face fool you, cause this guy can't speedrun. You get a rifle and this pelt list. If you look closely, you'll see that none of this is related to a speedrun. You need to find resources, not pelts. The only reasonable one to go for is the bunny foot task. For 3 bunny feet, you get extra sprint speed. The perk is useful, but it did take me 3 minutes of killing rabbits to get it. So maybe it's not that reasonable. I take it back. We get C tier. Assassin. This class was literally made for this. The katana greatly speeds up the early game because you don't have to find a spear. And the 10% extra sprint speed lets you cover more ground and loot quicker. But the best part is the kunai. I would say the DPS is good, but good does not explain how high the DPS is. Look, you can kill bears in 5 seconds, and there's a 10% chance to find even more kunai in chests. Gets high S tier. Ranger, you get revolver, that's about it. D tier. Poison Master is next. The blowpipe can fire 3 darts before loading. You should hit 3 different enemies with 1 dart each because the poison does not stack. Then switch to a different weapon, the reload's done. If you don't believe me, let me show you what happens when you only rely on the blow darts. Yeah, you saw that, the reload's slow. You also get poison armor, it can poison enemies that hit you. It gets B tier. Medic. You get 2 bandages and faster revives. Though in a speedrun, your teammate should not be dying in the first place. D tier. Decorator. It decorates. Is there even a practical use for it? D tier. Pyromaniac. You get a flamethrower which can do AoE damage and cook meat, but it takes fuel as ammo. That's bad in the speedrun. You need to level up the fire as soon as possible, so make sure to not let any pyros in. D tier again. Gambler. We can finally break the D tier streak. This class can either upgrade or downgrade a chest. When you get upgrades, they're great on iron chests. That's why I have iron armor and giant sack on day 2. And what are the mobs doing down there? Anyway, just look how good this loadout is when using Gambler. But that's not the best part. This class is good for speedruns because if you upgrade a legendary chest, you can get some Force Gem fragments, which you need to build Temporal Accelerator. It's obviously A tier. Cook. It's just a downgrade to Chef. And you know where we put Chef. D tier. Hunter. You get 2 bear traps and the higher meat drop rate. The improved pelt chance could also be good in case you need to use a pelt trader to get good sack. But it's still D tier. Support. Does anyone even use this? D tier. Base Defender. It has pretty cool perks, but defense blueprints don't make your run faster. D tier. Farmer. This is not going to make your run faster either. I think you know where I'm putting it. D tier. Fisherman. It's not even good at what it's made to do. D tier. Actually, too many classes are in D tier. Maybe I'll move Scavenger to low C. It's better than the rest in D tier. That's a full tier list for speedruns. Anything B tier and above will help you get a very fast run. What's your favorite class? And your fastest time? Let me know in the comments.